you may have noticed there is a distinct lack of intro skit. For this particular topic, I feel it wrong to start with something where I attempt to be comedic. We are going to be talking about online harassment. However, the lens we intend to apply or employ with this or to this shall be through a lived experience or anecdotal evidence. The reason for that is because, well, I'm on the receiving end, and it is to me exhausting. Over a period of 18 months. Now, I shall not mention the name, the gender. In fact, I will mention no discerning definitive features of this person, because I don't want you to get attention. I do, however, want this to serve as a warning shot, because I have all the receipts, and I am so tired. But I also want this to serve as a warning to those who also then go out of their way to do or behave in a manner that is anyway similar to what we are going to briefly touch upon today. As a content creator on YouTube and BitChute, I am very much aware that I will have, if I am patient and work hard at it, a supporter base. Some would say fan base. I'd rather not use the word fan as it feels like a fob-off. Supporter feels a bit more personal. With any supporter base, there will always be some that try to go beyond just simply being a supporter, either to be close with the creator they have in some manner, put on a pedestal, or obsessed over, which in and of itself leads down a remarkably dark path. I would be foolish to believe that after 5 years on YouTube, that I wouldn't have anyone like that in my life. So before we dive into the, let's say, anecdote, it is right we address what is in fact online harassment. Cyberbullying is an umbrella term that is meant to encompass a number of harassing online behaviours, like physical bullying or cyberbullying, being generally aimed at young people and may involve threats, embarrassment, humiliation. For the sake of what I want to cover today, cyber stalking is the wing of the whole online harassment I want to focus on with my particular anecdote. In a legal context, cyber stalking is the prolonged use of online harassment intended to harm, harass, intimidate, place under surveillance a target. That's based on US law. Now, of course, there is more to it with mine, because mine comes from a fan. But for the sake of it, cyber stalking is essentially what I have experienced. I will say for the sake of it, I am not a victim, because I was very careful in how I dealt with this, but it did not work. So I want to show how even with the resources available online, it doesn't always work. So 18 months ago, I received an email complimenting my voice. I have this principle. It's actually a rule I use on my server, where somebody will become a patron, they join the server, or a Twitch subscriber or a channel member joining the server. I will treat you with absolute respect, but I don't care for stans or fans that get a bit gooey over my voice. That's not criticism, because I understand that some will be like that, but I want to treat you with respect, and it's very hard to if all you're interested in is hearing me speak. It makes it very hard to converse. Many will notice over 18 months I haven't been replying to as many messages as I used to, and it's actually because of what has been transpiring in the background that has led to me distancing myself, which I don't like doing, by the way. Anyone that takes the time to send me a message should get a reply from me, because that is the right thing to do. And I'm really sorry to those that I haven't. Truly, I'm really sorry, but my hand was forced. As with all emails I received back then, I replied, kindly, politely, disagreeing with what was said, because being me, I actually hate the sound of my voice. But I'm very much aware that it is quite a pleasant one to listen to for others. The person in question replied, and thus began a conversation which involved walls of text to my 2-word responses. My attempt to try and treat them with respect apparently went in the gutter, so I moved their emails to spam. But, as anyone would know, I have a Facebook page, and this particular person found it. I probably should have deactivated it sooner, to be honest. It was advised when this person didn't stop, because the funny thing about Facebook messages is, if I go to click my inbox and that person is sending text after text after text, their message will appear at the top, and they'll know I've seen it. Even though I haven't, it's the first one there and I've clicked to go to the next one. As anyone that is, let's say, put on a pedestal like this, eventually the person, even if you tell them you're in a relationship, which, by the way, at the time, I was, it doesn't stop them, apparently. This person believing that they are your one true love, going so far as to send pictures, the wrong kind of pictures that nobody wants in their inbox. When a bedsheet looks like you've wet it, for you to say what it is that's on it, I press hard X to doubt and don't eat for 3 days. Even though I had banned this person, my partner in fact had banned that person on one of my channels, might have been Twitch. My mods did the same when they were alerted to this person. It didn't stop. New accounts were either created, or old accounts were reused, ones that had been left before they had created the one they were using to email and or Facebook DM and or Twitter DM and or so on DM. Even with other creators, a dear friend of mine, a close friend of mine, reaching out to that person to tell them to stop because this is absolutely insane, even after being blocked everywhere, banned everywhere, they kept coming back, professing their love and believing that all that had happened was just a blip and that my relationship at the time wasn't real. But I have the DMs to show that even though you didn't stop, you were told to stop, and you didn't. With the facilities available, the one thing I didn't want to do was report the user for harassment, because that's what it falls under. But you were reported for harassment, just not by me. You were multiple times. I know this because you told me you were. In many videos this person has made on their channel and Twitch streams, which have been clipped, they talk about their mental health. And it is because of this person's badge of honor, brazen attitude towards their mental health, which have led to some rather questionable stories. It has caused me to have to be more measured in how I approach this here. I don't care for the continued harassment I am receiving. I don't think anyone would. Others take a more no-nonsense approach. I just want you to stop. The part that really, really had me questioning your sanity wasn't your beliefs and your attitudes when it came to your mental health. It was when you sent me a picture of a shrine, of me as a figurine, an Aquaman figurine with a squid head. I'm half tempted to retire the Aquameg avatar just because of that. More recently, this person, upon realizing when I'd unpublished my Facebook page for about 2 months, believing that they'd been blocked when actually I'd unpublished the page, they finally changed their tune. And it wasn't until last week that I was finally name-dropped by this person. Now, I couldn't see this, because I don't follow them, but they had blocked me, which I was alerted to because I'd noticed a tweet with this person's name on, and I got name-dropped by somebody else. Screen caps were sent my way, where I apparently am an alcoholic, which is interesting because that was sent just after my fishing trip, where I posted pictures on Twitter of booze that me and 2 other people were drinking, and when you think about it, a 20% gin liqueur, half a bottle of vodka, which is 40%, between 3 people, and 4 cans of cider. That does not make anyone an alcoholic. It just means some people like to live a little dangerously and mix their drinks. 2 hilarious results. This person is now going on the offensive, and I'm going to state this now. Don't look for them. Do not give them the attention. I want them to see this, yes, but I want them to see this to know you were told to back off by people closest to me, and you didn't. I removed you. My mods removed you because you wouldn't stop. You were told to stop by me, and you didn't. I have given you every opportunity to not, and you continued because you thought you knew best. This is the most polite way of me saying online harassment is not acceptable and what you are doing is harassment. And my experiences with it have forced me to change how I interact with those who are so kind enough as to support me and message me which is really unfair to those people, because I think it's right that I should be able to reply to them without fear of being, well, whatever this is. If you don't stop. For me, this tale is quite interesting, because I didn't realise until much later on just how obsessive they were. It is very hard to determine through text alone, and my own, let's say, principles prohibited me from using the facilities earlier on to nip it in the bud because I didn't recognise it as harassment until later on. Thankfully, there are plenty of those around me who are trustworthy enough to help me, and for that I am very grateful. My view on online harassment when it comes to content creators is this. If you want to message a creator you are a fan of or you support, do so, but you must be respectful of them and their boundaries. Nowhere in my list of boundaries, which I'll be honest are pretty much common sense, does it say, send incredibly disgusting, disturbing, inappropriate pictures of yourself in various stages of lewdness and nudeness, because it turns out I like to keep food down, not up. With what I'm discussing today, I'd like to know what you think. I know I have alluded to things a bit vaguely, but there's a reason for that. I can't in good conscience mention this person by name unless my hand is forced. It was forced this far, but I'm not willing to do it again unless something else happened. And I'm not encouraging that. I think it right people respect other people's boundaries, and I think those boundaries are important. I will happily sit and message everyone that messages me, provided I have the time, but I'm not going to sit there and look at remarkably disturbing pictures. I'm not going to sit there and continually show you courtesy for you to then tell me things you'd like to do to me because of my voice. It's just a poxy voice, okay? It's not even special in England. In England, this voice is basically the acronym for This Week at Twitter. Yes, shocker, I know. I do want to know what you all think. Please do let me know in the comments down below. I shall be streaming on Twitch tonight. If you're at all interested in watching me... Oh, what are we doing? Euro Truck, American Truck? I don't know. Playing a game. Link in the description. Have a cracking Monday. Thank you all very much for listening.